All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are talking about one of the most powerful, maybe the most powerful tool in software development, prototyping. It's all about getting a sneak peek, an interactive preview of the final product, to make sure everyone, and I mean everyone, is seeing the exact same thing before all the heavy, expensive work actually starts.
I mean, think about it. Have you ever poured your heart and soul into a project, only for the final result to land with a thud? Or maybe you've had this brilliant idea in your head, you explain it, and what comes back makes you go, wait a minute, that's not what I meant at all. This little question, it gets right to the heart of a huge, and I mean huge, problem.
And this isn't some small niche issue. This disconnect, this massive communication gap between what a user is dreaming of and what a developer is actually building, well, you could call it the billion-dollar misunderstanding. Seriously.
Because this gap, this is where projects go to die. It's the graveyard for good intentions. This is where countless hours and just unbelievable amounts of money are completely wasted. And it's all because of misunderstood requirements. It's the tragic difference between delivering what's actually needed and delivering a technically perfect solution to the completely wrong problem. So, what do? How do we possibly bridge that gap? How do we take an idea from someone's head and turn it into real working software without anything getting lost in translation? Well, the answer is actually pretty elegant. You build a sneak peek. You build a prototype.
Okay, let's get a really clear definition down. A prototype is a working model. This is key. It's not just a drawing or a static image. It's something you can click, you can interact with, you can actually get a feel for. And it's created specifically to get feedback and hammer out the vision before you commit to that final, very expensive development process.
So you might be asking, what's the point of this extra step? Isn't it just more work? Well, no, it's actually a brilliant strategic move. Prototyping forces those crucial conversations and uncovers all the hidden problems when they're cheap and easy to fix, not after the whole thing has been built. It literally transforms vague assumptions into solid, confirmed facts. But here's the thing, not all prototypes are created equal. This is not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Depending on what your project needs, you're going to choose a different approach. So let's take a look at the three main types.
First up, you've got the throwaway prototype. Think of this like a quick, rough sketch an architect whips up to agree on a house's floor plan. It's built fast, its one and only purpose is to get everyone in the room nodding their heads in agreement, and then you toss it. Its value's in the clarity it creates, not in the code itself. Next, we have something totally different, the evolutionary prototype. This is not a sketch you throw away. This is the actual foundation. You build a solid base, you get feedback on it, and then you build right on top of it, refining it, adding features, letting it grow and evolve until it becomes the final finished product. And finally, there's the extreme prototype. You see this all the time in modern agile development. This is all about speed and super tight feedback loops. We're talking about building and getting feedback on just a single button or one tiny feature in a really short cycle. It's like a continuous, real-time conversation between the developer and the user.
So, prototyping sounds pretty amazing, right? And you know what? It is. But like any powerful tool, you've got to know how to use it correctly. It has some absolutely incredible payoffs, but there are also some potential pitfalls you really need to watch out for.
The payoff is huge. I mean, getting that feedback early and often means your requirements become crystal clear, which ensures the final product is something people actually want to use. And most importantly, it just dramatically slashes the risk of building the wrong thing, which, believe it or not, makes the whole process faster and way smoother for everyone. Now, on the flip side, here are the things you have to be careful about. Because prototyping is so fast, it can be tempting to skip the deeper analysis. And users, when they see a working model, they might start asking for just one more thing, and then another, and boom, you've got scope creep. Or they might see it and think the project is 90% done. These are all totally manageable risks, but you do have to manage them. Okay, so let's just boil this all down for a second. At its very core, prototyping is about creating a working model to get early feedback so you can gain clarity and reduce risk. Whether you use a quick and dirty throwaway model, an evolutionary one that actually becomes the final product, or a super fast extreme approach, the goal is always the same. Avoid those common pitfalls to build the right thing the first time. When you strip everything else away, the choice to use a prototype really comes down to a very simple, very fundamental question for any team. Do you want to guess, or do you want to know? And honestly, in today's software world,
This is why prototyping has pretty much become non-negotiable. It is the single best way to validate your requirements, to make sure you're actually building with the user in mind, and to just slash the risk of total project failure. It is the ultimate communication tool.
I think this quote just perfectly captures the whole idea. Without a prototype, you are gambling. You're betting that your interpretation of an idea is the right one. With a prototype, you completely replace that gamble with a clear, productive, and honest conversation.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. In a world where time and money are always limited, and user expectations are higher than they have ever been, is building software without a prototype really a strategy? Or is it just a very, very expensive form of guesswork?